view of the development. So, and as you know, we're starting kind of getting down to the end here. I think somebody might still have their microphone on. If you could mute it.
Please mute your mics and your computers, please.
Thanks. So, but we have a lot to get to, so I think I'll just let James take it from here whenever you're ready.
Well, thanks, Stephanie. And we do indeed have a lot to cover today. We're going to be looking at three different kind of views of the application: the student submission, the administrative workflow management and submission management, and also the advisor approvals. And so for the first part of the demonstration here, what we're going to actually do is kind of a lot of prep work on the administrative side. We're going to need to set up the workflow so that the student can make the submission, and so that we can see some of these features that are going to be demonstrated today, such as the flagging of field profiles for prominent display, the VIR 404, and the action log, the VIR 396, and as well as like a number of prerequisites on the setup so that the student can actually successfully conduct the submission, and everybody gets the appropriate emails and all that sort of thing. So we're in Firefox right now. This is going to kind of be our home base where the administrator or the manager is going to work. The student is going to be operating in this Chrome browser here, and the advisor will be using Internet Explorer or Edge. So as the administrator, let's go ahead and get started. And we'll log in here with our Mock Shibboleth login. So now we are an administrator. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the application settings, and we're going to need to naturally open submissions. And we're also going to want to set up some custom actions so that we can show that the student and the advisor and the manager are all able to see the custom actions where appropriate. So we'll do some of them student visible and some of them not student visible. It's a reasonable action to perform. Okay, so let's make one of these student visible. Okay, so we got a couple of custom actions. Next, we're going to create a deposit location so that at the end we'll be able to actually deposit the submission into a DSpace repository. So we'll add a location here. Set up some of the basic information. All right, so that should be in order. Let's go ahead and test our connection to this IR. And voila, it communicated with the IR. It got the service document. We can see all the collections that we might be able to choose from. So it's a good one that I know about. Okay, publications, presentations. We'll go for this collection as our target collection. And go ahead and create that deposit location. Looks to be in order. So now we'll come over to the organization and workflow side of the application. And we'll need to create a new organization to which the student can submit. Like College of Business, why not? So we'll create that, and we'll see it down here on the triptych, the single panel triptych in this case. And we're going to need to come into the workflow here now. And to set up the workflow for the student, we'll do a few things. We'll want to add some shibboleth mappings so we get some pre-population of some fields. We'll want to designate a field that is going to be logged in the action log, so we can see that, and we'll designate a field that can be flagged for prominent display so that the manager will be able to see it in the sidebar on the admin item view. And we'll also need to create some email workflow rules so that the advisor will get the appropriate emails when the submission is complete. So managing the workflow here, I'm going to come to personal information, why not? And the first name is an obvious choice for shibboleth management. Last name. And then over on the personal information step, on the license agreement step, there's this very important field, UMI publication. So what we might do here is coming into the advanced dialog, and we will flag it for prominent display on the admin item view. We will also log it so that it will appear in the action log when it's created or changed. Okay, I'll update that. And let me come back and just double check that the changes took. Okay, let's try that again on the log. That's a known bug that we've recorded in the backlog. Okay, so everything's in order now. Okay, and next I want to make some email workflow rules. So I'll click over to email workflow rules. And what we care about today is submitted. When the submission is submitted, we'll add a rule there. We're going to use the advisor review request template. The recipient will be the committee chair. And then we also have to click this little clicker to enable the rule. This is a Vireo 3 convention that the play and the pause are used for that, enabling and disabling. Okay, so I think that is the prep work we needed on the admin side. Now I'm going to come over, oh wait, one more thing before I forget. I'm going to go ahead and add a controlled vocabulary for the department here. Oh, wrong tab. Wait, no, that's right. Cool. To do this, I do need to come back to the basic admin settings over here on this side and create the control vocabulary in question. So add control vocabulary for departments. Manage control vocabulary, so we're going to change the department control vocabulary. Pick this handy control vocabulary right here. Confirmed. And then back to our workflow. Let's see. Department. We will designate that new control vocabulary.
James, I'm sorry. Can you tell me what that input type was again?
Oh, yes. Under the advanced area here, it is, it should be input type select. So that's going to be a drop down.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. Let me just double check that everything is what we wanted. That was a little confused there. Department?
Oh, you're back to me.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah. Wrong workflow. Looks good. And that will be the end of our preparatory work. And we'll now come over to the student browser. And the student is using Chrome today. So they're going to log in. All right, logged in now. And we'll start the submission. We'll pick our new custom workflow and begin. So we do see the auto population of the shibboleth enabled fields. Just go ahead and cool. Pick some reasonable looking things for demonstration purposes. And we will click the UMI publication checkbox there. Right. Need to put in the correct email address here for the committee chair, because they will be indeed the recipient of an email according to that email workflow rule. Okay, looks good so far. And now we'll pick a document here for our actual submission. We're not controlling the file upload type here, but that is achievable with the control vocabulary mechanism, as we showed in a previous sprint demo.
Could you say that one more time? Sorry, go back.
Yes, we're not. This can be restricted to certain file types, but that's
okay.
not.
Okay, so you can restrict it to PDF if you want. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, so here we are on the confirmation and submit step, and looks good, but oh, I'm having second thoughts. I don't think I can go through with it. So I'll close out my window there. that maybe I have a little conversation with my advisor. So maybe I should keep at it. So I'll log in as a student once again. Oh, nope, wrong login, sorry. I think I'll have to close the browser. Oh, there it goes. Okay. And as we see now, I'm able to continue my submission. And furthermore, we can come to submission history and also have the option there to continue the submission. And the student will avail themselves of that option. Brings the submission back up. And everything is still in order.
James? Sorry, James.
Yes.
Before you actually click on submit, will you go back to the email workflow settings? I'm looking at our Vireo, the email settings. It has a pause button that's in view instead of a play button, because I think it means whatever. If you see pause, that means you can pause it. If you see play, you can play it.
So yes, we don't like this very much.
Oh, so what you did is the opposite then.
Yeah, it feels a bit
Okay.
backward-ish.
Okay.
If you press the pause button, it turns to a play, and if you see the play, that means it's currently in play.
In play.
But
okay.
yeah, we tried to duplicate Vireo 3 exactly on that point, but it would probably be a lot more intuitive if it was just a checkbox, you know?
Right.
That's something for your
Okay.
consideration.
I just want to double check so you didn't have to go back and do anything. So, but you know what
Right.
you're doing. So thanks.
Naturally, thank you. So at this point, though, I am going to ask for your approval on this 388. As a student, I want to continue a submission. I want to continue submission action on the submission history view. So the students want to continue their submissions, and I think I demonstrated that when I closed out the tab and had to log in again, and then got to continue the submission. So is that going to be meeting expectations for that particular feature?
Yes.
Excellent. We'll go ahead and drag that over. Okay, so, and we will have to hold our horses on 404, the flagging of the field profiles, and the 396, the action logging, for just a moment here. But we are going to come now to this 397, the advisor wants to approve submissions. So we'll come over to the advisor browser here. The advisor is using IE. And come over to the advisor's email.
I think you haven't submitted yet.
Oh, right, I haven't submitted. Okay, thanks, Ryan. All right, 1 second. Students using Chrome. Here we are in Chrome. Submit. And voila, we now have a submission complete information form, and we can go then with this link to our submission status, view the submission. So this is what the student sees after having made the submission. And we do see that the public, or like the universally viewable custom action is there on the page for us to see. So, all right, now I can come over to the advisor page. And, well, look at that. Okay, so the advisor is encouraged now to review the submission. And we do see some templates that haven't been filled in yet. This is a card on the backlog, so any developers out there who want to jump on that one, we invite you to do so, but it is currently on the backlog. So the community chair is getting this email, and it has the link that they can follow. It'll then take them to this review page, and they see something very similar to what the student sees. It's kind of the basic information, and they have the document there for download, as well as the action log, and this is the first time we're now actually seeing the action log in action. And we're also seeing the state here in this little dialog. And the advisor can do what they choose here. They can approve embargo, or approve the application itself. They can place comments. And when they do make comments, they do appear in the action log. They can also reject things. We see that they're not able to actually submit a rejection in case they don't have a comment, so we have to put in a comment. Records it as input, and we look in the action log, and we see that the advisor did indeed reject those aspects of the submission. So maybe they think about it a bit more. I do approve now. No comments required in that case. They can submit that. And now we see that the input changes after the approval has gone through. You have the checkbox to unapprove. So that, I think, will do it for the...
James, when you open that, I didn't see, does it open at the top? When if you're the advisor, you click on the URL to open this, it goes to the top, is that right?
Oh, I think it did, although I can double check that. We can just try it again.
Yeah, okay.
Click it, and it does indeed open at the top, yes.
Okay. Could you...
Scroll down.
So we don't have the embargoes set up, and so that's why they're not displaying, because it's just not part of the workflow yet.
That's also true. We did not do any setup of embargoes for this demo.
Okay.
We would those during, I guess it would be on the document information portion.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay. Is it possible to open it up and tell it where to open up to, like, I don't know, down where the embargo would be, or either at the approval screen?
Yes, that should be possible.
Okay.
If you don't mind much, can you make a note of that, and we can get that on the backlog for you?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I think that does take us to this 397 here. As an advisor, I want to approve submissions so the graduate office can finish the review. Is that going to meet your expectations for now for advisor approval, Stephanie?
Yes.
Leaving aside, of course, the additional issue of where to put the advisor on the page.
Right.
All right. And so next, we're going to come back to the admin browser where we currently are, and go to the list. Let's view here. And we do see in the list our submission. And so we'll go ahead and navigate to that. We do see here the action log. And so that is, for us, the conclusion of VIR 155. It's 155 around here. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, so we've seen the action log with a lot of things at different spots, and I guess we want to see especially this UMI publication was set to true. That happened during the submission. And we also see here the file upload being logged. And it says 0 KB, I should say, because it rounds down to the nearest kilobyte, and it's a very small file. So maybe not the best for demonstration, but that's not a bug per se. And we also are seeing submission status changes and the advisor comments and everything. But the really interesting thing about it is this UMI publication set to true, because that's the one field that we flagged for logging when we were setting up the workflow. So that shows the true customizability of that aspect. So
are those other fields, are they already marked as logged, or are they just logged by default?
Yeah, they're not even fields. They're not the customizable ones. These are things that are foundational to the
that's right.
submission object.
They're kind of actions.
Yes,
okay,
and we
that's
tried
right.
to capture everything that happens in Vireo 3.
Right.
And some of that stuff happens on things that are now fields, customizable fields. And so that would all be customizable at this point, but the stuff that's not a customizable field, the stuff that's foundational to the nature of the submission, such as the comments and status, that stuff will always be logged.
Okay.
Just like Vireo 3. So
do we need to, Renee, sorry, go ahead. Renee had a question about that. Let's see, on the advisor approval, what does approve application mean? Is that approving the student submission, or is that language that's customizable? I think the answer to both is yes, but I guess I'm not really sure about the customizable language. I thought that's what it currently says, but I'll pull one up.
Yeah, we certainly wouldn't have taken inspiration from anything else other than Vireo 3.
Okay.
This is Jeremy. James, if you don't mind, I can answer those questions.
Please.
It is what we saw in our instance of Vireo 3, and it is not customizable without developer intervention currently.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, I see. It is the same thing as in Vireo 3, where it says approve application. Is that what it says? Yeah. Okay. And I guess, Jill, you saw also not customizable without development. Did you say developer intervention, I guess, Jeremy? Let's see.
Yeah, so that raises hard-coded into an HTML template, so that template would have to be edited, directly in order to change the wording. And it wouldn't be, terribly difficult as far as development tasks go, but it definitely would take, changing things that would, probably be considered markup or code in order to change that language. Not that it would be impossible to develop a feature to allow that to be customizable. It's just that currently is not the case.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the demo here, I need to see if we're meeting expectations for 155, that the manager can see the action log on the item view.
Yes, I approve it.
Excellent. And next on the admin item view, we're going to see this VIR 399, that the admin needs to see these two new input types that were introduced for previous sprints, the contact input type, which was used for committee members, and the ORCID ID, which was used for the Vireo ORCID integration. So we can come over to the submission here, and we do indeed see an ORCID, and I can try to put that in there, but it will not avail. But I can try to put in a syntactically valid one, and it will. This does also integrate with the ORCID Central server if you have that set up, but that was demoed on a previous sprint. And then on document information, we are indeed now seeing the committee chair as an input with the name that the student put in, as well as the email address. Okay, so are we meeting expectations for rendering the contact and the ORCID ID?
What was the contact part? That's the chair.
Yeah, that was the chair right here that I opened up when we saw the
okay.
UC data.
Okay, so that's name and email. Okay, yep, and the ORCID format. Is that right? Yep.
Right. The ORCID validation on the admin view is the same as the ORCID validation on the student view presently.
Okay. All right. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. So the administrator has taken a very careful look at this thing, and it's almost there, but not quite. So what we're going to do is note that we got some approvals here, I guess, but the document itself is not quite ready, so we'll change it to needs corrections. All right, so we have a new status here, and this is going to kick it back to the student. And we could also have set up an email workflow rule so the student is emailed, but for the purposes of demonstration here, I can just come straight to the student's browser. And it's quite magical. We just had this open, and the page updated for us, and said that we're now in the needs correction state. And so what the student can do here is, so they want to replace their manuscript. We do see some nice highlighting for the part that the student can edit. So replace manuscript is the dialogue we take there. And we do see as well that that primary document did get archived on the server. So the student can now upload, for example, some additional documents. Just picking my random common separated value files.
James, can you also write a comment in the student or text in the message or comment area?
Oh yeah, let's see about that.
Thank you.
And we see the comment in the action log showing up there. And now let's go ahead and resubmit our manuscript. And we should be able now to also jump to that. That was a squirrel. Look at that. But now we'll be able to submit our corrections. And we get this nice dialogue telling us, warning us, in fact, that we won't be able to do further edits if we go through with this action. And are we sure? Yes, we are, for demonstration purposes. And there we go, back to the confirmation page. So now we will return once again to the administrative view. And yeah, lovely. So we do see that this page is automatically updated, saying now corrections have been received. So what we can do now is make a transition to publish. I have to pick a deposit location. I will indeed pick the one that I set up earlier. And we will go ahead and try to publish this to DSpace. All right, let me come to my DSpace repository real fast. Aha, there we are. A very important thesis has been by Stu the student, our expected subject, and other metadata, including the abstract. And there's the file. And the full item record, we have a richer view of the metadata. So I've kind of gotten a little behind on my card approvals, I think, going through things so quickly, but I do need to ask if, oh, I missed something. Excuse me, there's one more thing. Yes, the flagged fields. So this UMI publication, that did get flagged, and so now we see it more prominently appeared on the sidebar here. And this was going to be a requirement for a lot of thesis offices' workflows to have some of those fields show up more easily on the sidebar, so you wouldn't have to navigate through them in the workflow step view. And so yes, I think I'm equipped now to ask the question if we were meeting expectations for the flagging of those field profiles for prominent display.
Yes, it's a neat new feature. Mm-hmm.
As well as the logging of actions throughout the submission workflow. We did see that occurring for a great many cases.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That one or two things have been missed, but those will have to come up in quality control and testing by the community. Oh, and the Add a File button on the Admin Item View tab is now at the top of the file listing. This was a request to help people find it more easily. So is that going to be appropriate enough, Stephanie?
Yes, thank you.
James, if you don't mind, this is Jeremy again. I would like to introduce something very quickly about action logs, just because it's a variation from what's happening in Vireo 3. But you can see that pagination down at the bottom of the action log, right there on the page that you're on.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. So previously in Vireo 3, there was a More button right there that took you to the full action log listing, kind of pre-sorted to the action logs. Because we have not implemented that view, and there's some lingering questions about what's going to happen in Vireo 4 with that view, this is what we settled on for action logs display throughout the application. Instead of any kind of More button, it just automatically will limit it to 10, and then allow you to page through all the logs associated with that submission.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good to know. This is a nice little affordance there. Okay, so the student was also able to see the custom actions on their view here in, see, student was in Chrome. And so we see right there that custom action that the thesis office did approve.
Very
but
good.
We cannot see the other one
when you checked that.
Oh yeah, I was pretty, I was pretty fast.
Okay.
But is that meeting expectations for the student seeing the custom actions?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And also the student was able to correct the submission and send it back to the thesis office with the corrections received status being set.
Yep. Very good.
And then finally, this very important feature, as an administrator, I want to connect to stored endpoints to export documents to DSpace, such as this very important thesis. So this card was kind of like laying the groundwork for what's going to be subject to further development in the future, I believe. So this is going to require some attention from a metadata expert, probably a committee of metadata experts, to make sure that we're meeting the expectations of the TDL ETD metadata review team. That's all been pretty well documented. So this card right here is kind of the meeting the technical requirement of actually getting anything and getting the actual file content over the wire into the designated collection in DSpace. So what I foresee is that we're going to have potentially some additional cards associated with this feature, as well as maybe some other exporters for getting that metadata in a state that's going to be suitable for librarians. But given that, and in terms of the technical requirements of this card, are we currently meeting expectations, Stephanie?
Yes, that's fantastic. That's very exciting.
Thanks. Well, thank you for your kind attention, and that concludes our demonstration today. And we'll be happy to consult and answer any questions for the remainder of the time.
Great. Thank you, James. Wow, you guys have done so much work and have done such a great job. Thank you so much for taking this on. I know that there were some other comments going on. Ryan, I'm not sure if you want to jump in. If you were reading them, I need to back up and read through them, but.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
One of the questions was that is this language the same one that we were using before for the advisor? Right now it's saying approve application. That isn't the language that shipped, I think, with either Vireo 2 or 3, and I do remember it from the long ago of Vireo 1. I think that may have been there way back then when this was, developed solely at A&M at that point. I'm not really sure how to address this other than to say that that's not the language that is in Vireo currently. And I dropped in the comment section what I was seeing looking in Vireo 3, which was committee approval. Sorry.
Can you say that again? What do you see in Vireo 3? This is for TDL library.
Yeah, committee approval of embargo set and committee approval of submission set. It does not say application. Okay, this is in the
action log.
Yeah.
That's the action log part, right?
Right. It does not have the word application in the language.
I see. But the buttons, or at least where you approve or disapprove, for those, it does say approve application. Is that correct? In your version, or is that something different?
Let me take a look at.
It is in mine, but we have the open source Vireo, so unless TDL made some customizations.
This one's approved, so that's not very helpful. Oh, it does say approve application. It says approval, and it says approve embargo and approve application. That is the language that is on the faculty side.
Okay, is Jill and Renee, is the issue is that, well, I don't know, can you restate, is it the problem of what is recorded in the action log, or the problem is that the faculty don't know what to do? They don't know which thing to pick. Sorry, I forgot to scroll down on the little screen here. So, okay. So, Jill, you say for you it's what the faculty see, that they don't know what approving the application means. Let's see. And Renee, I think the language calling it an application is confusing for faculty, so it's not really how we refer to the submission. Maybe why not many of our faculty approve them. Jill. No, sorry, talking about embargo. Okay. They don't know what to do about the embargo, and I think above that, you said they don't know that they need to, if there is no embargo, that they need to approve it. So, okay. Alrighty. Well, honestly, I'm not sure whether we can do anything about it at this point, since it was not part of the sprint, and we're kind of getting down to the wire of trying to get all the most mission critical things done, and so this can get out the door. And I also would not feel comfortable in making that change without putting it out on the BUG listserv to make sure that if everyone was okay with that. But even if they will, even if everyone liked it, we need a developer other than Texas A&M to help make that happen. So if you guys have somebody to throw on it, that would be awesome. And UNT has a lot of developers, I believe, so go get them, Jill.
It's certainly something that we can look at as we're rolling it out at TDL, if it's something we can change in the HTML. We'll take a look at that point, see if that's something we can branch in our code. I don't think that the faculty page has ever had stickies or help text, but that's something we can look at as well. I'm a little surprised to hear that this is as much of an issue as it is if this is the first time we're hearing about it. So I'm not saying it's not an issue. It's just you never know when something's actually going to pop up as something that's causing problems. But we can take a look at it as we roll out the TDL version. Hopefully we'll have a developer on board by then. And what else was asked about? The embargo. Okay. That was really about it in the question section. And I'll hand the mic back to you, Stephanie.
All right, thank you very much. Well, I think hopefully it was apparent to everyone how much work has been done and how close this really is to how close we are to releasing it in a form that you guys can test. So we're making progress. We're not quite there yet. For the next few weeks, Texas A&M will be working on something else, and I know we've got spring breaks scattered in there. So it looks like we're going to pick up the development of Vireo at the end of March, or March 31st will be the first start date of the next cycle. That means that it'll be in April that we would plan to have a public demo of that. So something will go out on the listserv at that time. I am hoping the steering committee will be meeting fairly soon to start talking and planning about the testing that we need everyone's help on, and just the other plans for how we hope everything is going to roll out over the summer, so that we can get prepared to take it from A&M, because they've done so much work. So now it's kind of our turn to help the TDL members and anyone doing open source Vireo on how to get this up and running, or how to use it and then get it up and running at their own institution. So James and everyone at Texas A&M, you guys have really done such a fantastic job. Really, really appreciate it. It's looking really great and exciting to see some new features. So a lot of the new features that we see are simply because couldn't do it the old way, since it's a new format, or things are arranged just a little bit differently. So, but you came up with some really great solutions, and I think everyone's really going to benefit from your great ideas. So I think, unless there's any last lingering questions, we can call it a wrap, unless I've forgotten anything. I see no typing, so just a reminder that this is recorded, and if you missed anything, it will be posted on the Vireo Users Group website in the next few days. Thank you for attending.
Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you again in March.